Hey everyone, and welcome. In just about every story we love, there's this incredibly powerful force that can make or break a character. And no, it's not some magic spell or a terrifying monster, it's their family. Today we're digging into the power of blood ties, and how that single, fundamental relationship can set a character on a path to amazing growth or complete and utter ruin.
Okay, so this image right here, it basically sums up our entire conversation today. You've got this beautiful, thriving family tree on one side. It's all about life, connection, growth. But on the other, you see these crumbling ruins, decay, destruction. The key thing to get is that they're connected. The strongest bond in your character's life, their bloodline, is a serious double-edged sword. It can lead to either one of these outcomes.
So before we can even think about using this in our stories, we've got to understand where all this power comes from in the first place, in the real world. Let's break down what makes family such an unbelievably strong force. I mean, think about it. From the second we're born, we're thrown into this relationship that we had zero say in, our family. The source material calls this blood ties, and it's seen as the most solid, most influential environment in a person's entire life. It's literally the foundation that shapes everything about us, our values, how we see the world. It's the starting block for who we become.
All right, so we've got that real-world concept down. Now what happens when we take that idea and drop it into the world of a story? Well, this is where a simple fact of life gets cranked up to 11 and becomes something way more dramatic: destiny.
Yeah, inside a story, this family bond gets even more intense. It's not just an influence anymore. It becomes this inescapable destiny. A character can't just pack a bag and walk away from their family history. It's practically written into their DNA. From page one, It sets them on a path. But, and this is so important, that path isn't a prison. The real story, the exciting part, is how that character walks that path. Do they follow it blindly, or do they fight like hell to carve out their own?
And that path, that destiny, it can really fork in one of two directions. First, let's head down the darker road, where those blood ties aren't a source of comfort, but a heavy chain the character has to drag around for their entire story.
For some characters, this unbreakable bond is the source of their trauma from the get-go. This isn't something bad that happens to them later on. Nope, it's a wound they are literally born with, passed down through their bloodline.
And this isn't just some sad backstory you mention once and forget about. It's a constant, fundamental roadblock. Every choice they make, every person they try to love, it's all complicated by this deep-seated trauma from their family. It's like a ghost that's always right there behind them. And here's the truly tragic irony, right? The one relationship that's supposed to be the closest, the most unbreakable, ends up being the very thing that pushes the character into isolation. This is their path to ruin. But it's also where you get incredible story tension. Can they break that chain? Answering that question is what can lead them to growth.
But what if the destiny your family gives you isn't a burden, but a gift? This second path is really interesting because it's so counterintuitive. Let's explore how a blessing can actually become a curse.
So this character gets the exact opposite deal. They are born into a world of pure advantage. Every door is open. Every opportunity is just handed to them, all because of their last name. They've literally never had to struggle for anything.
I absolutely love this phrase from the source material. A life of unearned ease, of constant privilege with no challenges, it can cause a character's soul to rust. It's like they become weak or entitled, or just morally hollow because they've never had to build their own strength. That gift they were given starts to act like a poison.
And that rust, that decay, it's not harmless. It spreads, corroding the character from the inside out until their whole perfect world just comes crashing down around them. The privilege that was meant to guarantee their success ends up guaranteeing their downfall. And that's the other road to ruin. But just like with trauma, it presents a choice. A character can find growth by rejecting that unearned comfort and fighting to become their own person.
And looking at them side by side like this just makes it so clear. On one side, you've got a cage made of trauma. On the other, a gilded cage made of privilege. But you see it, right? They're both cages. If a character doesn't challenge what they've inherited, both of these paths lead straight to ruin. Their growth depends entirely on their struggle to break free.
So we get the mechanics of this powerful storytelling tool. The big question now is, what do we do with it? As writers, as storytellers, how do we actually use this thing effectively in our own work?
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
We've established that blood ties create this almost inescapable destiny for our characters. So what's our job? Do we have them embrace it, fight it, or is there some other way?
Well, here's the takeaway. Our job as writers isn't to ignore this force, but to really understand it, to lean into it. We have to decide, is our character's destiny a shackle of trauma, or is it a poison of privilege? Knowing these paths to ruin is step one, but step two is where the magic happens, crafting their path to growth. Growth comes from facing that trauma head-on. It comes from rejecting unearned privilege. The real story is the struggle against the destiny we gave them. And that leaves us with the final and most critical question, one for you to answer. Think about the characters you're creating right now. You've given them a starting point, a shackle, or a poison. So are they going to succumb to that inheritance and find ruin? Or are they going to fight and struggle and transform it into the very engine for their growth? The choice and the story is all yours.